Just make some comments about this new development in I know it's not new. Time and time again, you have only coup in other part of the world. But you know why the Africans them get so resilient against these colonial masters. Them look and see what happened to Libya. Yeah, them see what happened to Libya. When Libya was moving towards a monetary system that was not pegged to the American dollar, and what Gaddafi was doing in America, in Libya, the American them wanted none of that. So Obama and Hillary Clinton planned against Gaddafi, and Gaddafi was murdered. I don't ever want to talk on the radio how them kill him, because it's a gruesome murder. Them organize and structure that even Obama come back and say one of the greatest mistakes he made was what took place in Libya. Because after Gaddafi, Libya went right down the pit. Up to this day, there's no central government in Libya. It's who come first, take all. So Libya is not what it was during the time of Gaddafi. And no matter what them say about Gaddafi, because these people have a way for paint people as corrupt and wicked and terrible, and we not looking at what them doing across the world. Most of the wars that have been fought in the world right now, America is involved in every one of them. Every one of them. We're not looking at what Gaddafi was doing because we don't get enough news about that part of the world. If America is not there, you're hardly going to hear it. You're hardly going to hear it. So them kill Gaddafi. And now look at Libya now, a failed state, because it was moving away from the Americanization of the monetary system in Africa. And now we say these northern African leaders is getting scared that what took place in Libya is at them doorstep. Them feel say what happened to Libya is right at them doorstep with the French and the American them. It's a serious thing. And a lot of them is saying, watch out, we now gonna make what happen in Libya happen to we down here, so you know. So meanwhile, the Americans and the French and whosoever them friend is in NATO is building up propaganda against these people. These Africans is now saying it's time we figure out something together, not just as one country, but together. So a whole heap of them now is coming out and saying, no, watch out, we are standing with Nigeria, we're standing with them. We are standing with them. So, as I say, it's a very serious thing. Very serious thing. It might not look that it's going to affect we here, but just as the war in Russia and Ukraine affect we see things gone up because they are claiming about wheat and all these things. And the war still continue over a year now between Ukraine and Russia. And America is pumping billions of dollars in that war and claiming that it's Ukraine fighting the war. When we know and we understand that is America using Ukrainian people to fight them war for them. Them arm them and say, go out there, go fight. Because that Russian system needs to crumble. Like every system that them Venezuela, Cuba, Libya, look at how long them fight the Libyans. Look how fight them fight the Liberia. We come and mix up the country them now. As Syria we are talking about. Look how long them fight the war in Syria. And the man who them claim says a devil, him still there. And up to now, them can't win the war. Them go to Vietnam. 50,000 soldiers dead in Vietnam. And you have thousands of them who stay back and married into the Vietnamese structure. Have families and all them things, the Vietnamese families in Vietnam. And them have to run, left it. Afghanistan, the latest one. Who can remember why them got to Afghanistan? Who can remember why them went to Afghanistan? And when we look, we see them have to come out Afghanistan. And Afghanistan is right back where it was 20 years ago. With all that money, all that equipment that them leave down there in the hands of the Taliban, all that money that them pump into that. 20 years after, Afghanistan is exactly how them leave it, and even worse. Worse. So we're saying, we have to watch these things, and our government in Jamaica, or the Jamaican government, I don't want to say our government, the Jamaican government working on behalf of these people is almost like a puppet on a string to these colonial, neo-colonial masters that is pulling them string while the people watch and recognize that things getting worse in them country. It's a problem. It's a problem because we over the other side of the world in Africa, we see the French again that had been colonizing most of North Africa, sucking the blood, the diamond, the gold, the uranium out of the countries like Mali and Niger and all these countries. The people them decide that enough is enough. France, get out of Africa. We're not going to tolerate you any longer to pursue a system of neocolonialism and colonialism. And America is also there with them. It's a problem. Because you know that America and France and these countries is part of NATO. And them say, if one country, just like Russia and Ukraine, even though Ukraine is not a part of NATO, but America is playing a proxy war in that part of the world. So you have other NATO countries joining them and fighting against the Russians. Whereas a similar thing is brewing in Northern Africa, Northwest Africa, Niger, Mali. You know, the people them in Mali decide say them want to eradicate French as them language and go back to them original language. And we see something else is brewing where they are telling the French to leave. And the French will have none of that. Big problem. Big problem. Big problem because more and more African countries is leaning on the side of the army in Niger. Niger, them call it sometime. Most of the armies in the other surrounding nations in Africa that has been colonized by the French is moving towards getting the French out of Africa. Big thing that. Big thing that. You're in a man country and you take out him uranium and him gold and all them thing there. And the little way I get carry surface the population. You're creating riches in France and Europe. And now the people them say, all right, enough is enough, work it out. Them decide, say, no. We have this thing as our right. We cannot forget in Belgium when Leopold is responsible for the death of over 10 million or more Africans. And we know that even in the Congo, where the coltan is that material that is used to make your cell phone, your computer, and other accessories that related to the computer. Most of it come from the Congo. And there's pure madness. We call it all even child labor. Most of the digging of these resources is done by children in the Congo. And you have puppets, just like in slavery days, who side with the slave master, with the colonial masters, to dig out the wealth of these countries. And some of these army men is saying, enough is enough. We're not going to make you keep doing this thing when the people them is suffering. And if you follow the news reports coming out of the Western world, you will almost want to believe that these black people is mad. These soldiers is mad. Just like how when we look at Haiti now, you hear them talk about gang. Them want to put a little face on it that is not what we call palatable to the brains. So them say gang. The gang them take over Haiti. And people know what say, but I mind, because Jamaica might become like Haiti. These gang in Jamaica has nothing that they are fighting for as a collective. All them interested in is self, riches. It's not an Asian thing. Because these youth in Jamaica don't business with what Jamaica is. Them businesses, them can buy a Mercedes-Benz and a big house and can have gold chain round them neck.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.
This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Motivational.